Hey everyone, I wanted to give a quick shout out to my Patreon supporters. Thanks for supporting me on Patreon, it keeps helping me make these videos for you guys. Hope you enjoyed this one.
Late last month, George St-Pierre defeated Dan Hardy. You were there, cornering your brother, and a lot of people weren't happy with that fight, and they're saying, you know, the guy at 170 who will give GSP a fight is Nick Diaz. Unfortunately, he fights for Strikeforce. What do you make? I mean, is this a fight that you feel that you need to, it needs to happen regardless, and you would like to do whatever it takes to make that fight happen?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know, George. What do you say?
That is the fight you would love to happen, right?
I wanna fight the best fighters there are out there, and I just think that we should get this thing going. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, more to that point, Dana White has said he really likes you, and we know you guys have a good relationship, but he says you need to sort of, quote unquote, learn to play the game.
Can you tell me what the status is, how you view Strikeforce fighters like Nick Diaz? Could you bring him over here to fight George if you wanted to?
I imagine I could do whatever I wanted to do if I really wanted to, but you know, we have a contract with Showtime, and he's a Showtime fighter. But that's an interesting fight.
You told us Diaz GSP. We're crazy for asking about this fight, a lot of hurdles, things like that. 2 days later, you go on Twitter and you announce that it's actually happening in October. How did you actually get the deal done?
I always say this: whatever the fight the fans want to see, it's my job to give it to them. Hello, everybody. Thanks for coming today. We appreciate it. All right, so on Tuesday, September 6th, we had a press conference in Toronto for GSP versus Nick Diaz for the welterweight championship. Nick Diaz was a no-show for his Monday Air Canada flight at 1:15 p.m. out of San Francisco. Then I talked to him at 4 o'clock, and he apologized and said, rebook me a flight tonight. And he said, yeah, this, you know. I mean, you guys have interviewed Nick before. I got a bunch of gibberish, and then he told me he was getting on the plane.
I'm trying to get back to Stockton here. I was out in San Francisco last minute, trying to get on an airplane this morning to go to a press conference.
I landed in Minneapolis, Minnesota, got a text from him and said, won't be making that flight. I called him, left him a message, and he's never called me back since.
It's an act of professionalism, you know.
I called him and left him a message, which was Monday night. He still hasn't called me back yet. Then his manager, Cesar Gracie, called the offices and asked if we could book him his third flight on Tuesday night to make it to Toronto. So this time leaving from Sacramento on Southwest at 9:10 p.m., he did not show up for that flight either. Cesar Gracie's calling me. He said, we're embarrassed. I've been trying to chase Nick Diaz all around town. Nobody can find him. He's hiding from everybody. So he thinks it's as weird as we all do. I just started getting pissed, and I said, that's it, man. This is it. This kid's not going to show up in Vegas. Didn't show up in Toronto. What else isn't he going to show up for? Is he not going to show up for the fight? I'm not going to risk that.
The UFC did an amazing job, set up everything, the press conference, the promotion, everything. I show up to do my job, but Nick Diaz did not show up to do his job.
Nick Diaz obviously can't handle the pressure of a main event of this magnitude. That's what I think.
This thing means everything to me. I just don't understand how come someone don't show up to an opportunity like this. It's I just can't believe it. It's amazing. I don't know what to say. It's crazy, you know.
So Nick Diaz has lost his opportunity at the welterweight championship, and Carlos Condit gets it.
The UFC wanted me to fight for the title against George St-Pierre, and now they're telling me that they're going to give the fight to Carlos Condit. So I guess that just leaves me out.
UFC President Dana White answered the question, what would happen if one of his fighters didn't show up for 2 scheduled press conferences? Well, they lose their title shot after Nick Diaz was absent, leaving his opponent, George St-Pierre, alone to deal with the media in both Toronto and Las Vegas. Well, Dana White pulled him from the championship bout and replaced him with Carlos Condit.
Nick Diaz has been saying a lot of things about me. And it was the fight that everyone wanted to see because it was champion in our organization and I was champion in the UFC, so it was kind of some sort of, not unification, but kind of.
Now it looks like they get to save money and I don't get paid and I'm locked in a new contract. All these deal makers making deals, you know, all I know is I'm ready to fight, so, you know, I'm sorry I didn't make it to the beauty pageant.
So for me, it's a fight that I truly believe it's way more dangerous. And I think it's pedigree. Just his pedigree as a martial artist is better than Nick Diaz. I think he's a better fighter than Nick Diaz.
George St-Pierre originally planned to defend his welterweight title against Carlos Condit at UFC 137, but a left knee sprain caused him to bow out.
Today, in a surprising move, Dana White put Diaz back on the UFC 137 card to face BJ Penn. But the strange thing about this whole situation is for years, Nick Diaz called out GSP and said he got no respect from anyone in the sport, making his actions mind-boggling.
Can you talk about maybe what the build-up to this card has been like for you personally?
Yeah, it's been one of the weirdest cards ever that I've ever dealt with, but this is a big fight. Obviously, Nick Diaz was lined up to fight George St-Pierre, and now he's fighting BJ Penn, but it's a big deal.
Is there still kind of some bad blood there with you and George, or not really?
I never felt like there was any bad blood. I think someone quoted him on him saying he didn't want to fight me before. You know, that's all. But I figure, you know, it's maybe it could be a bad matchup for him, you know, my style.
Were you kept under lock and key last night and escorted here to make sure you didn't escape anywhere to come to the press conference? I mean that in a jesting way.
He's here, guys. I mean, if you guys want to ask him questions about the fight, he's here.
Tonight's main event is BJ Penn and Nick Diaz. There was a whole lot of switching going on in the last 6 weeks with this card. Would you prefer to fight Penn, or would you prefer to fight Diaz after all the things that have happened?
I would have liked to fight Nick Diaz because of everything that have been said and done. I would have loved it.
Nick Diaz! Nick, first of all, congratulations. Welcome back to the UFC. And congratulations on an outstanding victory tonight. George St-Pierre, call up. I see you walking around. You've been screaming, George. What's on your mind right now?
I don't think George is hurt. I think he's scared. I think he's scared to fight everybody right now. What's up? Where you at, George?
Nick Diaz should be out here in a few minutes. BJ Penn had to go to the hospital.
You called out George St-Pierre. You were pretty fired up in calling out George and mentioned that, you know, potentially, you know, he may have been scared or he was faking the injury. Can you expand on that?
I was supposed to fight George St-Pierre, not BJ Penn. And I don't mean to sit here and make excuses all day, but that was the fight that I was looking for. Because apparently I'm not too important, but I think that if I were in his position, I would have wanted to you know, fight the Strikeforce champion. You know, they made a whole big deal out of that, unifying the titles.
I've known George St-Pierre since 2004. Since 2004, I've never seen him like he was tonight. George St-Pierre flipped out tonight. He's the most disrespectful human being I've ever met, and I'm going to put the worst beating you've ever seen on him in the UFC, is what George St-Pierre said. Nick needs motivation. He's got it. He's going to fight George St-Pierre. We're hoping to do this thing Super Bowl weekend in Las Vegas.
I got to come off like that just to get a fight. I got to be the bad guy. You're going to point the finger, make me the bad guy. I'm the bad guy, now I get a fight.
Why do you feel that people are against you? Because I feel like a lot of people...
Why I'm getting this fight because everybody wants to see me take an ass whooping right about now. So, all right, I'm ready. I'll take my ass whooping. I already worked for it. I'll take my ass whooping. I'll take my money, and I'll go home.
I feel like maybe you're misunderstanding that you actually do have a great fan base that actually wants to see you excel, not see you fail.
The last time we saw GSP in the octagon, that was April 30th, 2011, when GSP fought his way to a 5-round unanimous decision over Jake Shields. The fight was smooth, but then in training it all went wrong. GSP tore his left ACL apart.
The UFC 143 card was reset. Nick Diaz would fight Carlos Condit for the interim welterweight title. and GSP would face the winner when his rehab was complete.
When in a perfect world will you be back into hard training and fight again coming off that major knee surgery 5 weeks ago?
In November, I can come back in November.
You think you'll fight before this year's up?
Oh yeah, of course. I hope so.
George St-Pierre is definitely on the fast track to recovery. He's a hard worker. He's a freak of nature. So
who knows? Maybe George isn't really hurt. You know, I've been seeing any pictures of surgery because I haven't. I don't know. Maybe they are all everywhere, and everybody knows about it. And I just haven't seen it. I want to see like some photograph, video. You know, I'm not saying, hey, George is he ain't hurt. Like, I don't know. You're working out already? I'm like, get surgery. I've had friends had surgery on their knee. I figure I let you chop my knee open. I ain't going to be fighting next year.
GSP has been all over the media saying that he really wants to beat you and fight you, and he wants you to win on Saturday night. He's rooting for you because he wants to beat you that badly and teach you a lesson. What do you make of that? Because that's not something that we usually hear from George.
I think that they were, just a lot of people are putting a lot of pressure on him to say these sorts of things. It's not really him. I think he should just stick to what he does.
Nick, obviously you've said coming into this fight that you think Carlos is actually a bigger test than George St-Pierre. Can you point specifically as to why you think he's a better fighter, what it is about him that makes it a tougher fight?
I think he's more of a dangerous fighter.
George St-Pierre, the welterweight champion, has said on numerous occasions he wants Nick Diaz to win tonight so he can put a fist in Nick Diaz's face.
Man, Carlos is spoiling the party now.
And it is over. The judges will render their decision.
Hope you win, my friend. Hope you get it.
The natural born killer, Carlos Condit.
George St-Pierre will return to the octagon on Saturday night in Montreal when he takes on Carlos Condit, and that is when a long and grueling layoff will finally come to an end.
This time in the octagon, I had a blast tonight. I was getting hit. It was painful, but I had a lot of fun, and I love my job, and thanks to everyone for the support. I don't care the critic, what they say. I fought. I give everything I had tonight, and I use my body with the tools I have the best as I can, and that's why I win fight.
George St-Pierre is the champion. The champ wants to fight Diaz. The guy's never asked us for anything. He's an awesome champion. He does anything we ask of him, and he asked us for a favor. So he wants to fight Diaz. It's not like people don't want to see it.
Nick and I were supposed to fight before, and this is the fight that everybody wants to see.
Straight up, other than that, I'm the #1 martial artist, not because I'm disrespectful. I got a bad attitude, and I deserve to get beat down. That's what you said, right?
You seriously believe I'm afraid of you, man?
You're over here trying to talk shit. Why don't you just drop it? Why don't you just say, look, we're going to go out, we're going to have a fight.
There is a story between us. It's a big fight everybody wants to see. Nick wanted to have that fight for a long time.
I've been promoting this fight since I was fighting in Elite XC.
I want to fight the guy who's ranked the best. And I believe the best guy right now, it's Nick Diaz.
I don't believe that he asked for this fight. I don't believe it for 1 second.
Why is that?
I don't believe that because he never said that. He never said anything to the camera. He never looked in the camera, never said nothing to the camera.
You told the fan I was scared of you and avoiding you.
Yeah, I got the fight too, right? You can understand that. I'm working towards something here. All right, everybody knows that. Sorry I had to do that to get the fight, but they're selling you all wolf tickets, people. You're eating them right up.
You think I'm afraid of you, man? Are you crazy in your head, man?
Why are you mad, bro? Because you're full of shit and everybody knows it?
I'm not mad at you, Nick. I don't wish you a bad life.
All right, well, I understand you got to pump the fight, and
I didn't say nothing bad.
Things didn't go well for you.
The people like to see fight when there's emotion. I don't focus on that right now. I'm focusing only on my fight, and that's it.
They like to make me look like the bad guy. George likes to say I remind him of the bullies that picked on him growing up, or they had to deal with. I'm gonna say, like, how many times you had a gun to your head, George? How many of your best friends been shot through the chest with a .45? How many of your best friends been stomped, put to sleep into a coma? We all had to deal with these things in life. If it wasn't for what I went through, who knows if I would have made it in life? Who knows if I'd be who I am today?
Well, I don't wish nothing bad to you. Nothing. It's a fight, and the best man will win. That's it. I'm going there. Gonna do my best. The best prepare I can be.
George here is selling you wolf tickets. Dana here is selling you wolf tickets. The UFC is selling you some wolf tickets. You guys are eating them right up.
I'm not scared of you. You'll see Saturday if I'm scared of you.
All right. All the selling of wolf tickets and all the things that happen leading up to this fight, there's going to be a fight on Saturday night. You know what I mean? These two are going to fight on Saturday night, and I agree. They are two of the best. He's the champion, has been for years. Nick Diaz has been around for a long time. And listen, all the stuff that Nick Diaz says and does one thing that he does do, when he goes in and fights, he fights.
It's time! Nick Diaz! George Rush St-Pierre!
That was the loudest applause I've ever heard in my life. GSP, a hero here at home. Good jab landed right away by Nick. Takedown by George. Full guard by Nick Diaz. He's got an arm wrapped up. Good elbow right away. George so strong and well conditioned. He's got one hook in. Big takedown. Big slam by George. So far, all George. Yeah, big first round for the champion.
Way to lose here, so big.
A little bit of taunting begins. Nice jab by George. Looking for the high kick. Oh, nice shot to the body there by Diaz. Nation by the champion. Nick Diaz pushing forward. A big right hook by Nick Diaz. Good left hand by Nick. Final 10 seconds of the fight. And they go the distance. No animosity at the end of this.
And still, the undisputed UFC welterweight champion of the world, George Rush St-Pierre!
George St-Pierre is with the commission. He'll be out in a minute. Nick Diaz said, I am done. My job is over. I'm out of here. I said, okay.
Are you finally glad that this whole Diaz saga for the past 5 years has finally come to an end?
Yeah, but it was a fight that everybody wanted to see, and a fight that I wanted to have as well. So I'm happy it's finally done, and I have to go to another chapter in my career. You know.
At the end of the rounds, when it looked like he was trying to take a late swing, or it looked like he wanted to confront George after, do you think that was his attempts to still try to get in George's head?
No doubt about it. That's exactly what he was trying to do. You know, that's his style. His whole style is to either get in your head and intimidate you, or get in your head to make you fight his kind of fight.
I didn't really try to take that shot. I just threw it across his face. I know it sounds like some bullshit, but I really wasn't gonna hit it with it. I was just being really mean. I was just being really mean out there.
It was animosity before the fight. Then after the fight, yes, it's true, we hug. And then right when I went to do an interview with Ariel Lawani said that he just said that I hit like a girl, that he want to fight me in a rematch immediately.
I want a rematch.
I guess we're back into where we were.
I wouldn't hesitate for 2 seconds to take a fight with a rematch. I think I can win. I think I can beat you. That's what I think. You know, and I appreciate, you know, he's a great fighter, and he does what he does to win. And you know, he knows that he decided to say, hey, look, you're the guy. And that's why I'm here tonight. And if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have got this fight in the first place. But I don't really have anything else to say, and you know, I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, today everybody knows, it's not a surprise. I announced my retirement. There's no tears. I'm very happy to do it. It takes a lot of discipline though to retire on top. It was a long process in my mind, but it's time to do it. Only a few people have done it, and I always said that I want to retire on my own and not be told to retire. So it takes disciplines, and in combat sport and full contact sport, that's how you should retire. You should retire on top, and that is very hard to do. And I'm happy I had the discipline and the wisdom to do it.